I love playing with the kids. My dad was a PE teacher at the high school where I grew up, so the biggest reason why I went into teaching was because of him. And I know even now I hear stories of students that he had in class. Like, he taught me so much and, you know, gave me some good advice, and that kind of inspired me. I have probably the best job in the world, is being with these kids, and they love coming into gym, they love playing. I love playing with them, coming up with new ideas. It is so close-knit. It's just a very neat atmosphere. You know, they've had the best experience ever. But I guess I would say, growing up in a family of 9, we're all athletic. We've always been involved with sports, and just watching him with the kids, I think he was pretty proud of me.
I always wanted to be a teacher. I had a chalkboard downstairs in my basement when I was little, and I would line my stuffed animals up and my Barbies, and I would play school with them, and of course I was a teacher. So I had really good elementary teachers that were good role models. My mom worked in the school as the school secretary, and education was definitely valued in my home. I just felt a really warm environment at the school, especially with my mother working there. When you walk in the building, you know parents and you know kids. Even if you haven't had them in your class yet, you kind of start to see them and put it together. Oh, that must be that kindergartner's mom, or that kindergartner's dad, or that first grader's dad. Even though I haven't necessarily had them in 3rd grade yet, it's just an environment that's welcoming, that when you see, oh, they're eating lunch with their child, or, you know, they're coming into the building for different reasons, you kind of put people together, and it's just a friendly environment, and I wouldn't ever want to go anywhere else. And I mean, now that I look back, I think that's what I always wanted to do. I remember at different times thinking, oh, I want to be a gymnast or a dancer or this or that, but what I kept coming back to was being around children. I love being with little kids when they learn something and their eyes just light up. I mean, when they've made that connection, there's just something that you just can't explain, how it makes you feel that you've been a part of that, to help somebody learn something, and to see the excitement in their face when they finally got it. They've got the concept, and it's like, oh, now it's so easy, I get it. And that's just very rewarding. It's for those moments right there where the kids inspire you. They've taught me more about life, honestly, probably than I've taught them over the years. Just the things that every child brings into the classroom on a daily basis that they have to push to the side sometimes and still learn. And I mean, we don't know what each child brings. Like I said, they've taught me just as much as I've taught them.
When I worked in a nursing home, I did the medical assistant, but I also did like a unit secretary. So I was getting both of what I like, secretary and medical. But then this position came open. It worked out well with my kids. My kids were here. I had one that wasn't in school yet, one that was in 2nd grade. I knew if I took this job, I could be a secretary, but I could also work in the nursing part of it too, and switch to kids who are fun. You know, you give a kindergartner a Band-Aid and a sticker and you've made their day. So it was just rewarding, because I think the children are it's so much easier to please a 6-year-old than a 96-year-old, I guess I want to say. But then again, they're kind of alike, so.
When I was a child, all I wanted to do was grow up and be a mom. When I graduated from high school, I went to college and decided I wanted to be an English teacher. Then I got my MRS degree, had a family, and 4 boys actually, and stayed with them. And I had achieved my goal in life to be a mom. But then I decided to go back to school when my youngest was about 3. And instead of teaching high school at that time, I had decided that I was more interested and knowledgeable about young kids. That was important to me. And so I switched my major as a non-traditional student, meaning I was old when I went back to school, to elementary education. After I received my degree, after I graduated, I went back to get a gifted and talented endorsement. And the giftedness part of it, I guess, is more, I'm more passionate about. I saw the need in my boys, and so that's what I wanted to do. It's not always easy to tell whether you are making an impact with kids, When I hear from students who are out of high school, in college, out of college, that being in my class was a really important part of their life, and that being in the challenge program sparked an interest in education and learning for them. That makes it meaningful. But I think that I make a difference sometimes. I love to help kids be excited about learning. And I see excitement in their faces from day to day, and so I enjoy that a lot.
My kids went through here, all the way through, from kindergarten, all the way through here. So I became connected that way. And then I just had always had an education degree, so the principal at that time was Mr. Bond, and he said, you know what, you might as well just start working here and get paid because you're here all the time anyway. So I did, but I always wanted to teach. From the time I was small, I can always remember having little neighborhood school classes in my home and had books and chalkboards and everything. That was just always, I guess it was a calling. I've thought about years later that it's just always what I've loved to do. I love to get up in the morning and I love to come here. I love kids and I love to learn. I tell them I learn as much in a school year as they learn because I learn from them. I love to just rocks, stars, the space shuttle, the space station. I know where it's at and track it and look at it at night, and I really enjoy it. DeSoto is like my second home because having spent so many years here with my own kids, I love to talk to the little ones. They stop by, one of them stopped by this morning and said her sister was expecting a little baby, and I'd had her sister, in school. So that's the part that I will miss. And that's the cool part, to go out in the community and run into the kids. The older ones that will come up to you in a store or someplace in the gas pump or something, and I'm thankful I can still recognize them and remember them by name. Or that come back here. I've had a couple weeks ago before spring break, one of the boys came back, which it's not usually the boys, it's usually the girls. And I thought, oh my gosh, sometimes you don't realize what an impact you do have on some of the kids.
When I was in high school, I had a friend, and his mother was going back to school to become a teacher. And so I would often help her grade papers and see the excitement, enthusiasm she had for becoming a teacher. Seeing the difference that she could make, I thought maybe that someday I could make a difference too. This is my 14th year at DeSoto, teaching 13 years teaching second grade. My very first year I taught first grade. Before that I taught Head Start, preschool children for 4 years. They're great kids here. We have great parents here, and that's why we have great kids. Just the staff that I've been able to work with for the past 14 years, for the most part, it's been the same group. They're an amazing bunch of people.
We do have some longevity now together. There have been a number of us that have been here so long that that we know each other, and we know we can count on each other, and we have developed that relationship and that confidence in each other that helps in our situation. But it's kind of funny. But I think now they all know they're very special people too, and that's important. If you want to do your best work, whether you're a student, whether you're a teacher, a secretary, a custodian, you need to be happy in what you're doing. You need to be satisfied with your job, with who you work with, your relationships, and our students are happy. I think our staff is happy. I think our parents are happy. I think people are satisfied. And I think you get so much more out of people when it's like that.
My dream is to be an astronaut, a teacher, a doctor, be a professional football player, and then a brainstormer, a cook, architect, watch concerts a lot of times, a teacher, and I've got my other one.
That's what I want to do. I want to make a difference. I like to feel like I did.
Is this thing on? help my dad. Like silly.
You know, do that type of thing. I think over here I go.
Woo! He was tricking you. Keeps on falling down.
That's okay. That's okay.
There.
Okay. Now, do you have any idea?
Some sort of scientist.
Perfect. And is it out of there? Can you see if it's in the
Well, he builds parts. And he works on cars. Yes, when my brother always had t-ball practice. It was and t-ball games. It was so super. Oh my God.